So I'm DI Dan Parkinson. I work for the Serious and Organised Crime branch, and I manage our fraud and cyber teams. So this particular case was one that was picked up by our complex fraud team, and its investigation into bribery and corruption involved in the development at Cranbrook when that occurred. So that was probably early 2010, 2011. And the case was specifically about the community energy project. So this is where E.ON built a large sort of community energy power plant effectively out there, where they were supplying hot water to all the homes in Cranbrook. Obviously, as part of that was a big project, involved a lot of civil engineering. So E.ON had a contracts manager there and people in a surveyor, quantity surveyor, involved in actually subcontracting the work and ensuring all the companies were, and all the bids were value for money, and deciding what contractors were used. So what happened with this one is there was a corrupt relationship between the employees at E.ON and the subcontractors, and primarily it was two civil engineering companies. And that, when I say a corrupt relationship, what it involved was the paying of bribes. So in order to get these lucrative contracts, most of it was for Cranbrook, but there were contracts for E.ON elsewhere in the country as well. To get those contracts, the subcontractors were paying bribes to the employees at E.ON, two in particular, and the total amount paid was about £2 million. So the method they were doing this, it wasn't just a straight, to get a contract they would pay a bribe. What actually the employees at E.ON were allowing the subcontractors to do is put in fake or inflated invoices as well. So the ultimate loser in this was E.ON. They were the ones that were losing money. So in order to pay the bribe, the employees at E.ON would sign off these sometimes inflated invoices. They would sign them off as genuine work. That would allow the subcontractor to earn money they weren't entitled to, and that money was used to then pay a bribe back to the employees at E.ON, two in particular. So that's how it happened. This happened sort of from about 2011 up to about 2015, when the two employees at E.ON moved to another company. When new employees at E.ON came in and took over, and they started going back over the work, they started realising that there were a lot of discrepancies, and they were worried about what had happened, and they actually made the report to the police, which allowed us to pick up the investigation. I mean, the reason this is really important, some people may think, oh well, this is all, a big company like E.ON losing money, where's the harm? Is it really serious crime? I mean, it definitely is. There were large sums of money, and the ultimate losers here are really the public, but also a lot of smaller businesses, smaller companies who were bidding for work as well. They were losing out on contracts because they weren't prepared to pay bribes, or they weren't part of that corrupt relationship. So a lot of them would have spent a lot of time putting together bids, which in all honesty they were never going to win. So they've lost out on a huge amount of money. And I think it's really important to say, with a lot of businesses, small businesses, if you're tempted to pay a bribe, or if you're asked to pay a bribe, if you pay it, you are committing a criminal offence, and you actually make the whole situation worse. No matter how small it is, once you start paying that money, then you make the whole situation worse for all businesses, and it really undermines the fabric on which businesses operate, which has to be clear and transparent.